All right. We're gonna get this show. Come on, you ready to do the show? Come on. What you got? All right. Come on, we gotta get ready to do the show. Come on, you ready to do the show? Come on, we gotta do our pre-show game warm up. Come on, pre-game show warm up. Pre-game show warm up. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, look, there's a bunch of people out there that think they're awake, but they're not. So what we're going to do is we're going to bitch slap them into awakeness, and we're going to show them the truth behind the curtain. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and we're going to make sure that they are awake from here on out, and we're going to show them what happens during this thing called Mudflood. See what I'm saying? Yes, that's right. We're going to show them, and we're going to make sure that they understand it. That's right. That's right. Yes. Yes. And yes, they want to see you. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for everybody to come to the show. And when everybody gets here, then we'll start the show. Okay, but you better watch that tongue. You ain't got no license registration for that tongue. You do not. Help. I'm getting attacked by a beagle. Somebody, Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to wake these peoples up. Okay. Because I'm about tired of sheep be hanging around. Yeah, I can't have no sheep hanging around. We got to wake them up. That's right. You got to turn them into lions. Roar! Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, you ready to do the show? Okay, all right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're going live on 3. Hold still. 1, 2, 3. On 3. On 3. 1, 1. What? Hold still. 1, 2, 3. Hold still. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Muddin and BEAGS, episode 7. I hope everybody's doing all right today. Muddin is riled up. He is ready to party. And I hope you guys are doing well. Hello, Miss Hippie. How you doing tonight? Welcome, Miss Sherry Ives. What's up, Mr. Morgan? How you doing? I saw GT in here earlier and Frankie New West Reset. I don't know who else is here. I can't see those other names. But that being said, let me get rid of this rascal so we can get down to some business. Okay. Audio check 1, 2, 3. Audio check 1, 2, 3. If you can hear me, then I'm probably doing it right. If you cannot hear me, then we'll blame it on, let's see, Morgan. We'll blame it on Morgan. Okay. Attack Beagle. Yes. Okay. I want to start off with a poll tonight. Real simple housekeeping thing. I was checking on something on another video this week, and I noticed that for some reason that I set it up to where when I was doing the pictures that I had my camera on. And originally when I did my first live and I did it like that. I had the pictures going where I was showing the pictures and I had the camera on in the bottom of the screen. Hello, Kathy. How you doing? And one of my Patrons made the comment that I should take that down, that I shouldn't have myself on the screen when I did it. Now, this was when I was first starting out, and I never questioned that. But then I saw it that I had done it by mistake the other day, and I was just wondering, I never really asked anybody if y'all care or not. The question for this poll is, and I'm going to put it up right now, would you prefer me to have the camera on while I'm doing the presentation, or would you prefer to have it off like I normally do? It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I just don't know if I never really questioned it. Hush it, baby. I'm trying to talk. So if you guys could let me know, and then I will try to accommodate. I don't care either way. It doesn't matter to me. It's just something I noticed, and I never did it differently because of that Patreon making that comment. And now I'm kind of a little bit older and wiser, and I know I should ask you guys that. That being said, I hope you're all doing well tonight. Let's see. Hello, Machine Head 69. Just checking to see who else hanging out with us tonight. I've got a bunch of pictures lined up. Very, very nice pictures, high quality as usual, high definition, absolutely huge quality. And so
right now it's looking like you guys don't care so far. That's not that's I don't know. I don't know if you want me to or not. So anyways, keep voting because I want to know if either picture in the light either me in the right hand corner bottom down here or not while I'm presenting. It doesn't matter. Um, whichever's more popular is neutral. Whatever is clever. Okay. Okay. And I'm reading your comments. Okay. It's hard to talk and read your comments at the same time. Anyways, okay, another little thing. I was having a little back and forth with a young lad earlier that a lot of you guys know. I'm sure you're well aware of this young gentleman. He's another creator, and he made a good point from his point of view, but in reality, it wasn't a good point because he didn't understand really all the details. And so I kind of realized that maybe I've never really explained this to you guys. So maybe I should do that. And anyways, I was talking to the Tartarian dreidel bop, as I like to call him, and he made the point that I was mad at Mr. Levy because he didn't grow my channel more. And I was like, no, that's not accurate. So I'm gonna give you the cliff notes, the layman's version of where I'm at with Saint John Levy, as I'm calling him now. Our Lord and Savior of the Mudflood, now Meltology. So the Lord and Savior of alternative research, Mr. John Levy. So when I did our chat a lot, I think it was like in 2021. When we got done, John made the comment that he would post the video, our chat, our interview, on his Patreon page so that his Patreon subscribers would be able to see it. And the idea was that because it was on his Patreon, it would be his most loyal, followers, and that the people that would be the most interested in viewing my channel. And I thought, I didn't really think it through. I was just very happy to be talking to John, and so I didn't really question it. But then he never did it. He never has once ever, not one single time has he ever shouted out my channel for that interview. Like that he has never once mentioned it, not once. And checking my subscriber count from that video, I have gained 107 subscribers for posting that video. 107. He has 342,000 subscribers, and I got 107 because he didn't even share that we did that video. Most people don't even know that video exists. And to me, personally, I think that's just bullshit because I try to, I think we should share each other's, as researchers, we should share each other because I don't know everybody and everybody doesn't know me. And we should share that's how I got my start. Is Michelle Gibson shouted me out and shared my work. And my whole channel growth has been because of other creators sharing my growth. It's not because of YouTube. It's not because of anything I've done on YouTube. It's because of the other creators shouting me out or sharing my work. That's the only reason I've ever grown. Because YouTube, I am not monetized, so YouTube does not promote me. And that's my choice, but it is what it is. And so now that I'm not doing collaborations, my channel growth has gone to null and void. I have had so little channel growth recently, it's laughable. literally laughable. And so, but I'm okay with that. This is not my job. This is my side gig. Okay. So I'm okay with that. So there's that. Then the second thing that was a little bit upsetting to me was that during that chat interview that I had with John Levy, I shared some of my upcoming research with him that I have yet still to release because I'm still working on it. And he took that research and put it in his book with no credit to me, which that is also, in my opinion, fucking bullshit. So, but what he doesn't know is that I only handed him the appetizer, the intro. I didn't hand him the meat and potatoes, and I certainly didn't hand him the dessert. So, whereas he has some of my information in his book with no credit, he doesn't have, the real deal. And so, you'll have to come here to get that because I'm the only one that's got it. He doesn't have that because I didn't give it to him, and he hasn't done the actual research, so he doesn't know. And then, of course, my longstanding feud with the wonderful world of Meltology, which, somebody's got to stand on this wall and call this shit out for what it is. It's bullshit, absolute bullshit. And he has been deemed literally, their king, Lord and Savior, Emperor of Meltology. They are touting him as the second coming of Christ, basically. So, that's the third issue I have with him. And so I have been nicely pointing out his Meltology research is incorrect for years now. And so that has always been there. Now, I've been nice about it, but, it's getting to the point where, I just need to be forward with it and just completely disagree with it. I've challenged him to a, debate and no call, no show, of course. I don't see why he'll do it, but it's there. Anytime, anywhere. You want to call in right now? You want to come on right now? Let's do it. Let's get it on like Donkey Kong. I'll do it right here, anytime, anywhere. I don't care. I mean, I'm ready to go all the time with it. See, I don't need to prepare for a show like that because it's logic. Truth doesn't need to put on its warm suit. Doesn't need to warm up. I got that game ready to go. I got it sitting in my back pocket, ready to go anytime, anywhere. Let's go. You want to do it? Let's go. Okay. So that's on the table. And of course, I've always offered a $20,000 reward for proof that a red brick can turn into a stone, or that all mountains are melted red brick buildings. So that's still on the table, as it always has been. And nobody's, I've had a lot of people say, I've got the proof right here. I've got a picture. I've got a video, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing. It ain't in my hands. I don't see a brick in my hands turn into a stone. Until I see that, you ain't proved nothing. You ain't proved jack shit. So there's that. Let me check my poll. Again, I was wanting to know, check on this poll. I guess it's 38% yes. And I guess that means, I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Does that mean, where's the poll? I see, I haven't done one of these, I don't think. Anyways, so 38%. I just want to know, do you want me to put the video, the camera in the bottom left hand corner as I do the show, or not? That's all. We may try it tonight, and you can tell me in the comments whether or not you don't like it. Either way. So anyways, that being said, let's get through with the pleasantries, and we'll be back and get into the show. So there's that. And again, shout out to the Tartarian Dreidel Bop, and thank you for your banter back and forth earlier. That was very inspirational. Thank you. Okay, now that we got that over with, and it looks like y'all want the camera on. Let's try it tonight, and if you don't like it, or if you do like it, just put it in the comments of this video and let me know. Um, I don't care either way. Whatever you like better. I'm trying to, uh, you know, give y'all a little bit of say. Um, and yeah, I was seeing that somebody was asking. I think Kathy was asking about Photoshop pictures stuff. Let me be real clear. They're not talking about these pictures that I'm going to show here tonight, but let me be clear about the pictures that I'm going to show here tonight. These are all from glass. They are digital scans of glass plate negatives that are found on the Library of Congress. They are, if you do not believe any of the pictures that I show that they are real or not real, you can actually go and look these pictures up in the Library of Congress, and you can actually you can order the images, like a high resolution image if you want, but you can go to the Library of Congress and ask to see these images, these glass plate negatives. You have to make an appointment. So if you have questions about their authenticity, go look. Okay, I can't do that for you, but you can go look yourself. Hello, Denise Menace, how you doing? And so let's get into it and get it on and see what we can find. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the thing here with the okay. I've I've got the let me bear with me a second. I'm getting my act together. Okay, and I'm gonna wait for it to fix itself here. Okay, and give it a second, y'all. Give it a second. Hang with me. I'm waiting to see if it changes here. I got two. There's a lag. Okay, alrighty, and hold on. For some reason, there. I put it on the wrong one. Okay, that should be right. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, we got a freighter leaving the ship canal in St. Clair Flats. Not sure where St. Clair Flats is. Look at these beams right here. That's crazy. Anyways, the look that you're seeing right there on the screen right there, that is the look that I've been asking you if you wanted to see or not. So let me know in the comments whether or not you like that or not. And we got the Neshto of Cleveland. Got a little Mudflood winder on our boat here. That's interesting right there. Look at that ball thing. It reminds me of a time ball. If you know what a time ball is. It's a steamer. Got a lighthouse back here. Looks like some tech on top there. Probably bringing in what's the back here? Oh, okay, more of the canal. Okay, we got a glimpse of Lake Waban. Wellesley. Well, okay. I guess it's a college. I think it's a college. Wellesley. I'm not even pronouncing that right. Anyways, doesn't matter. You get the point. So, anyways, we got this big old building back here in the background with ether fencing on top and ether finials. I don't know if it's hard to tell if this one's vanilla skied. I don't know. It looks like this one's overexposed, maybe. I would say this is not vanilla skied. Look at that big tower there. Got some lake action down here. Got some canoes. Like I said, we're going to take a little bit different look at these pictures. we're going to have a lot of different things instead of just buildings. This is a glimpse of Tower, Mount Auburn Cemetery, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I just selected these images randomly, so I don't know what we're going to see here, but that's a weird tomb there. Kind of reminds me of a Templar cross right there. Like a little obelisk. Oh, check this tower out right here. Some dude just chilling out there. That's a weird thing to have in a cemetery. We've got a residence at Orchard Lake, Michigan. And again, these images will take a second. They're high resolution, so they'll take a second for the computer to load them into the high res. So you might see them look fuzzy at first. You got a little Mudflood window down there. I bet you there's some under that porch too. Arched windows, arched doorway, more arched windows. Probably some ether tech right there. Ether fencing up on top. That would be how they would get the electricity. Of course, bricks can be used as batteries. So it's very possible that, now this is just a possibility. This is shooting in the dark, but it's possible they could bring in the etheric energy in through the antennas on top, and then store it in the bricks of the building, and then hold on just a second, y'all. I don't know if I got him or not. Somebody, I'm not going to let say no names, decided to I'm not going to say no names. Decided to let a fly in earlier, and I've been trying to kill him for 3 hours. I will get that son of a bitch one of these days. And we got academic building from the area, MMA, Orchard Lake, Michigan. Looks like a military academy. Look at this big arch right here. Those are actually really nice. Nice stone foundation. If you see a brick foundation, something's wrong. Okay? Brick does not make good foundation. That's wild how they got an arch within an arch right there. And this is something that is kind of weird. And I've noticed that a lot of times they don't want you to walk on the grass, which is just kind of strange. I'm not sure why that was. Big old rock for some reason, but I don't know why they were so adamant, don't walk on the grass. You can tell that's old glass. See how it's got that kind of like shimmering, oily kind of look? That's old glass. That's kind of weird right there. Look at that dog toothing. It's kind of a. This could be a kind of a candidate for. Now you got to be careful about. No, this is not Vanilla Sky. Okay, I was looking for anything that would tell me it's not. See, a lot of times people would say, "Oh, this is Vanilla Sky," but it looks Vanilla Sky, yes, but you really got to get into the high res to see, if it is or not. Because on a clear blue sky day, you could take this picture no problem. And I think that's kind of confusing to people when it comes to Vanilla Sky. So you have to go deeper, and that's why the high resolution is so important. These cadets hanging out, talking about what the mischief they're going to get into. Alpha Delta Phi House at Ann Arbor, Michigan. So it's a frat house. Got some nice, pretty Mudflood windows down here. That almost looks like hard to see, but it almost looks like a squatting man symbol right there, which I believe represents the flat earth, which I am a flat earther. Proud of it. Not knocking you if you think it's a globe. It's all about the level of consciousness and what you're able to see and understand at the moment you're at, and that's okay. So no shame in the game here. Just that's where I'm at. And I'm it's not something I argue about, because it's just like, to me it's pointless to argue about it. Look at that stonework right there. That's really cool. I like these railings. Look how that's done. A little bit short though. Not regulation, I don't think, but I love stonework like this. Look at those arches. Beautiful. Y'all having a good time out there? I see Hippie and Kathy and Desmus and GT still hanging with us. This was built in, looks like 1883, which is interesting. If we go with the IJ thing, that this is centered on the window. So, there's that. I don't know. I guess these are the fraternity logos. Got the star and the crescent there, which is interesting. Little ether tech up here, little tiny little ether tech, little ether finial and ether fencing up here. That's something I hadn't seen before. Got a wind catcher right there, which would later be used for the fireplace. It's an interesting little bit to have on a house. What will be the point of that right there? That's kind of weird. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. What do you think they're getting with that? Huh? Think it's a bird roost? No, that's Ethertech. That's bringing in the etheric energy. Oh, yeah. There's another little ether finial. The higher up the antenna, the better. You get more juice the higher up you are, is my understanding. Okay. All right. I think, let's see. Oh, I missed this little stained glass here. That's pretty. That little brickwork right there. Now, from a meltologist will tell you that these stones right here are bricks, and John Levy would literally say the word fused. He would say, this is a brick that has fused into a stone. And these bricks didn't get melted. These ones didn't melt, but these ones did melt. Okay, I'm going to give you both views here. Okay, the meltologist view and the Mudflood view. Okay. Let's see. Got some Mudflood winners down there. It looks like a lot going on in this picture. You got to kind of really get in there. Got to get in there on the detail. Okay. All right. We're moving right along. Art Museum, Boston, Mass. That's a pretty one. And this looks to me, you see the matting that goes around it. Whenever you see that, I think that means that they've gone through the glass plate negative and presented it in some way. So it has already been manipulated to where they like the picture. That doesn't mean that they altered the picture or photoshopped the picture or took things out or put things in. It just means that it's presentable. Now, it also is a good indication there might be something going on. So kind of want to look for that. Got porthole here for the wind catcher. Got some crazy looking, got a scrubbed cartouche there. I've been hearing a lot of other channels taking the ways that I have said things in the past, changing the wording and regurgitating them. So I appreciate the imitation. It'd be nicer if you would actually shout me out and I could grow my channel to share out what I'm doing here. But I get the point, So, anyways, got some hella detail on that thing. Got an etheric antenna right there. Those are wild looking. Look like skylights, but I don't think they are. I don't know. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I think these represent the torus field that surrounds our flat Earth. Got some interesting artwork there. I don't know what that is. Kind of, wow, those windows are cool. Lots of ivy, big doors. I believe giants roam the earth. Yes, yes. Got some little heads coming out of the wall here. Kind of wild looking. More heads over here. That is a flat earth asterisk. Okay, you got your vertical, your horizontal, and your X. And I believe that the flat earth asterisk is a representation, a symbolic representation of the flat earth. I believe the flat horizontal line represents the flat earth. The vertical line represents north and south poles. And the now that, not looking down on the flat earth, but looking from the side of the flat earth. I should be specific that the energy field goes around, and that's what the X represents, is the torus field around the earth. And I know that's not a great picture to see that on, but that's my thinking. Got creepy mannequin dude sitting in the window. Got Mudflood winters down here. Got dude his little beanie cap. Got a boater hat. They got an interesting history boater cap. So got a cobblestone brick road, which Meltologist will tell you is a X factor. It's an X factor road. It's been melted. That's a melted road. Okay. All right. Got to make sure y'all understand. And we got a beautiful telephone pole. I mean, we can build this beautiful, amazing building, but we can't make a telephone pole straight. Nope, can't do that. No, not gonna happen. Hans, I ain't even gonna pronounce this right. Han, I see you. You like the metal videos? They're I get to them here and there. It's gotta, there's gotta be two things that have got to come together. I've got to dig through my thousands of films that I have collected, and I've got to have the right music, and I've got to, in my mind, put those two together in order to get a video in order to decide to make a video on that. So it's kind of tricky. It's an artistic thing, and I don't have a lot of time to be artistic. It's the kind of the research behind the scenes, kind of really what I've been focusing on lately. I know I hadn't been around a lot, but I've also been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't know about. You will down the road. We got an ether finial there. We got wind catchers here. Wind catchers are old world air ventilation systems that ran throughout the buildings, and they brought in and moved around fresh air and gave a better climate inside. You got to have fresh air in a building. And that was a big problem with the buildings when they started using them, because they didn't have the ventilation. That's when they had to come up with HVAC, because they couldn't utilize the buildings properly. They'll tell you it was, we didn't have elevators and people didn't want to be them. No, they couldn't circulate the air because the wind catchers weren't working, because we used the wind catchers for chimneys. And then later we utilized the wind catcher tunnels through the buildings as conduits for water and plumbing and sewage and things like that. And that is a wild image. Not even sure what's going on there. We got a heck of a some weird shit on. This is in Boston, y'all. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but when I think of Boston, I don't really think much about whatever that is. That just don't even that dog don't hunt to me. Anything back here looking good? Got some diamond symbology. Alrighty, I think we've got that one going. Barnes Hall, Cornell University. Big old doorway here. I imagine that this was added. That would be my opinion on that. They didn't come in with the Christian mythology until later, so that was anything you see that has Christian iconography on it would be an addition, like stained glass windows, things like this. That's my opinion, y'all. Y'all can throw tomatoes if you want. Doesn't matter. Got Mudflood windows down here. This dude's smoking a joint out the window. Not going to get caught. Very sneaky. Got a little arched doorway there. That's an interesting little doodad right there. Kind of strange. That's just not like a scratch or something on the glass plate negative. You'll see a lot of that. Got a wind catcher up here. Oh my. Wow. Okay. Wow. Holy Joe, let me get a back up on that. Good gracious. That thing is, oh gosh, that's okay. That's probably 8-foot door. That is probably 8 feet. That's probably an 8-foot diameter porthole wind catcher window with a Templar cross on it. Holy majoli. That's the biggest portal window I've ever seen. Hands down. That wins. That's crazy. That is a big sucker. And it would be connected in some way, shape, or form to these towers, these chimneys. There's a nice ether antenna right there. These would probably be wind catcher windows as well. But the idea you would have an input and an output. You'd have an input coming in for the air and an output where the air pushed out. And depending on which windows you open, depending on how the air moved, and the higher up the tower, the better quality of the air. The better the air, the better it worked. So that's why they would build the towers taller and taller and taller. That's pretty wild right there. I told you I was going to bring y'all some good stuff. There's another big old porthole window. Got etheric fencing up here. Looks like a wave. Reminds me of Phoenicia. I believe the Phoenicians had something to do with what's going on in some way, shape, or form. That would have been part of the wind catcher system right there. And look at that stained glass right there. I've always liked stained glass. That's some sort of big old roof back there. Got a big old arch doors down there. That's kind of weird looking right there. I'm not sure what that is. I've got a little Christmas tree right here. Have Christmas. Let's see. These would be wind catcher windows. Whenever you see a window with a swivel where it could open like this, or it could open with the point on the bottom and the point on the top where it could swivel, would be part of the wind catcher windows. A lot of you, not calling you out for being, of an older age, but a lot of you that went to the old world high schools and elementary schools and junior high schools, those old world school buildings, will remember wind catcher windows in your classroom above the door. They were transom windows that opened and closed. They would also a lot of times be across the inside hallway. In the classroom, in between the classroom and the inside hallway, there would be transom windows that would open and close. And those windows were part of the wind catcher system. You might know what I'm talking about if you're of a certain age. Gen X represent. We got Bathhouse, Richfield Springs, New York. So this is where you go to wash your tailbone, I guess. And that's interesting potted plant there. And we got a big old chimney here, probably for a steam plant. Probably that chimney's probably for a wind catcher. Oh, that's a cool little. I like that chair. That's neat. Oh, look at the stained glass. That's pretty. I like that. You see all kinds of things in these old pictures. We think we're so advanced. Oh, that's really neat right there. That'd be fun to build that. Okie dokie. It's like a Phoenician shell there. Got a antenna hanging up here. They would call it a flagpole. This is also Bathhouse, Richfield Springs, New York. Another view. You'll get a lot of this. This photographer would take different views. He would stand in one place, set his camera up, take a picture, turn it. I got to build that, whatever that is. That's basically a badass treehouse gazebo thing you did. I like that. With half of a flat earth asterisk sitting on top of it. Just saying. That counts. Woo! Looks like maybe a gas light right there. Hard to say. Let's see what else we got. I hope you guys are having a good time hanging out. Got this random other gas light. Look at this thing right here. That's kind of weird looking. It's almost like an obelisk made out of wood. I don't know what that is. They got an etheric antenna here. They call it a flagpole. Got an ether finial there. There's a wind catcher right there. Another gas lamp. And a meltologist will tell you that this right here was a melted brick pillar there, which, you know, intelligent people would know that's not, because a brick cannot turn into a stone. I mean, that's like telling me a horse can turn into a fucking unicorn. A horse can be a unicorn. No, it cannot. That's why I just say no, that's not true. Horse is not a unicorn. They say, yes, it is. I say, no, it's not. They say, yes, it is. I say, no, it's not. It's talking to a brick wall. You can't argue with stupid. A battalion firing standing MMA, Orchard Lake, Michigan. So basically, it's a military something or another playing war, training, firing their muskets. They're also serious. You know, men are badasses until they get into war and they start, you know, those bullets start flying above them, and then pretty much you're going to turn into a human being and realize, oh, I don't need to be here. I shouldn't be here. This is wrong. Yep. And we got a big old chimney up here. Yeah. War is, you know, we've been taught that war is something that humans just do, that we're always wanting to go to war. That's not true. No human wants to go to war. We've only been we've been dog trained to believe that. It's not true. War is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Any form of war. There is no good war. We do not need war. The elite need war. We do not need war. Same dudes. And gotta let it lock in, and boom. And we got the tuba section over here. And they are running down the road doing a charge. Yeah. One of the dumbest things I've always, like, do y'all really believe that, like, back in the day they used to stand at each other with their muskets, and one side would fire and then the other side would fire, and one side would fire, then the other side would fire? Really? Like, you know, this is civilized warfare? Seriously? Do you really believe that's how they did it? Do you really believe that? I mean, seriously, I don't believe that. I don't believe that they sat there and fired at each other That's not how that happened. I'm not even sure that the wars that they tell us happened. I haven't really seen any proof. Where's the photographs for the Civil War? You're telling me they couldn't take a photograph? I'm pretty sure they could take a photograph during the Civil War. Where are the photographs? That's a flat Earth asterisk, in case you were wondering. Right there, and there's another one. Those are porthole windows for wind catcher, and got some etheric antennas going up here. They would call it a flagpole, but probably full with mercury and stuff like that, and big old arch doorways and windows and dog toothing, and looks like a castle. And look at this big old flagpole. Good grief. Look at that thing. Almost looks like a telephone trunking tower. That flagpole's so high you can't even get to it. That damn fly's still flying around here. Beagle, get the heavy artillery. Got a stone foundation. All right, let's get on with it. They're same guys. They're firing their little bazookas here. Boom, boom. I have not yet. I've heard a lot of theories on what people think cannons are, but I do not believe cannons were what they tell us they were. I believe that this is all possibly for show, that they're not really firing. They're firing the cannons, but they're not. I'm not sure they're shooting what they say they're shooting. I mean, how do I know in that photograph that they're shooting an actual cannonball out that cannon? I don't know that. Could just be, a big explosion. My point is, I think the cannons were some sort of tech, but I don't think it was the tech that they tell us it was. I don't think they were weapons. At least I don't think they fired balls. But I have not heard any theory that I feel I can get behind. I've heard it's for, some sort of plumbing and things like this. I have not seen any evidence for any of this, but I am interested. Board of Trade, Scranton, PA. So this is just a big old building, because we need that. These pictures are all from between 1890 and 1901 for the most part. So we're talking horse and, wagon day. There's Fred, in case y'all missed who that was. That is Fred. Fred is the horse that built America. And it's definitely not a donkey. There was no, where's the donkey? Show me the donkey. I don't see no donkeys. I see Fred's. I see there's a dog I don't see, which is actually very rare to see. You actually see more dogs. There's another dog. There's a dog, baby. There's a dog on the screen. Look. And there's more that you don't ever see donkeys. Very, 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 very rarely. So when you say, donkeys built America, I'll take that compliment, because obviously that was copied from me, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll shout myself out. I can do that. I can shout out myself. No problem. I'll be my own advertisement. And look at this weird sidewalk here. It's a wood sidewalk. Very weird. Got some weird looking advertisements here. Creepy dude sitting on what looks like an electric car. That's wild. Heavy salt. Old Virginia cheroots. I don't know what that says. What does that say? Not sure what that says. Got some big old etheric antenna up here. It's like a solar panel. It's not. Well, that's a Tartarian solar panel. I can hear it now. Oh, God. Got epipenials up here. That would be part of the wind catcher right there. This is a weird thing I see a lot, is these etheric antennas where you would have like kind of a one portion of it's higher than the other, which I wonder if that has any technical importance. I don't know. It's just something I've wondered. That's, I believe, representing the Taurus field. What else we got? Oh, awnings. I love a good awning. I mean, if you're going to build a beautiful building like this, you need to have awnings because awnings really set the tone for how the building will look. They really, really make it look better. No doubt. No question. No question. You got to have awning. Got to have a nice, pretty awning to make your building look proper. Oh, wow. Oh, my. What we got going there? That is wild. I can't see it enough to make out really what's going on there. You got an urn there. Another urn there. Ether urns. Ether antennas there. Another, that could have mercury in it, which would help, bring in the and move the etheric energy. Some more detailing there. I can't see it though. Little ether pieces there. Some more of that fancy detail. Wow, that's amazing. Board of Trade. Okay, yeah, Board of Trade. Looks like a wave there. Got another Phoenician wave here. A scrubbed cartouche. We got the squatting man symbol here. Also a flat Earth asterisk, which is what I believe it is. But that is technically a squatting man. Very old world symbol. Laurel leaf of control. Wow, that building is a lot more interesting when you get up close to it. Got some interesting detail on that one too. Little arc light. But say, you think about it, you're down here on the ground, right? And you're looking up and like you just can't really see that detail from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stories up. You're not really not able to see that detail very well. So it's amazing that they went through that much effort. And there's buildings that are much higher than that you literally can't see the detail. Hello, Miss Orphan Annie. How are you tonight? And we got Boston Post Office, which would be located, I don't know, in Boston. And we got Freds everywhere. We'll look for a donkey, but, I don't know. There's Fred. Give Fred some love. Got little Mudflood windows down here. Boater hat. Ladies in uniform. Got these etheric railings here. I believe these were tech. They got rid of these during World War II, saying it was for the war effort. I don't think that's what it was for. Overhead trolley lines. Got Fred's pulling beer back here, it looks like. Got cobblestone brick road that is not melted. Meltologists will swear that's a melted road now. That is they will swear up and down that's a melted road. Yep, melted road. A road that melted. Bricks that melted into a road. Yep. Especially when they say a cobblestone road is a melted brick road. That one really, really, really gets to me. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. We got nice, pretty awnings. See, awnings really set the tone for what a building really should look like. No doubt. And we have some nice etheric toppers here. Got Taurus fields. Got a little key on that cartouche. USA. Hang out, a little dove hanging out in the pediment there. Got a delivery by Fred. Got a nice little underground there. Let's see. Colombian Insecticide Company. Water bugs, bed bugs, and all insects exterminated. Guaranteed for 1 year. Guaranteed. And check out these beautiful horses here. All these Freds. Wait, that might be a donkey. Let's see. Nope, that's a Fred. Let's see. Get some metal. Freds everywhere. Got these touring trolleys, which is another weird fad, how they had these cars and trolleys that were set up and designed like this as tours and they would take tours around the cities. Like it was like I don't know. It's kind of like you're showing off the founded build the found buildings. Like I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And anytime I see steps like this that wrap around the front, it's a red flag to me that they added that. Got the 3-door thing going on, big arches. Looks like it could be a dragon there. Hard to say. And before you ask, I am unsure. I have my own opinions on this, and I'm not ready to answer until I have more information because I don't believe that the information that is being provided is correct. Check that out. Caduceus. Winged Caduceus. Got portals right here for the wind catcher. Got a little skinny baby that's hungry. Looks like that's kind of weird. Homeboy's got his Thor's hammer out. All these are all wind catcher portholes. They could open these and get the air to go through. Got an unscrubbed cartouche there. Still has design on it. Can't make it out though. Got an eagle representing the phoenix. Little Phoenician shell. This is tech that they added later. Be a wind. This is a wind speed, and this I don't know what that is. It's a weird looking thing. Got some etheric antennas right, fencing right here. Etheric antenna right there. Probably has the mercury in the ball. Looks like, I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. Green man, haha, where you at? You lingering? Haha's usually in here. You usually tell me. Phoenician wave right there. Let's see. This would be part of the wind catcher. That damn fly. I'm gonna get that thing. You just land on something, you son of a bitch. You and me gonna go rounds. Big on why you let that damn fly in. I know you did it. Every now and then, such is life. Lady in uniform, Mudflood Winters down there. Oh, I love a good awning. So pretty. So pretty. Look how pretty that is. Got some interesting stuff there. Just very, very strange way to build a building. You know what? How did this thing happen? How did the mud flood happen? That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm asking about. Hey, there's that thing we were looking at earlier. This is the Arlington Park, Richfield Springs. This is that thing I was questioning what it was earlier. I was wondering if it was a wooden obelisk. That is it. Now that we have seen it, I still don't know what the hell it is. That's weird. It's like the old world Burning Man. I don't know. Look at this woodwork here. You got a flat earth asterisk right there. Got to have that. Very important. Very important. But how did the mud flood happen? You know, I've got two. I've given my theories on mud flood many times. And this is Earl's Court in Narragansett, Rhode Island. What the hell? Got an ether antenna up there, and got some sort of strange tower here. That's just weird. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Why do we have a winged dragon coming off a tower in the middle of what the hell's going on here? There's Fred, and we got these little tiny little houses over here for no apparent reason. There's more Freds. I mean, to be sure, we're gonna find a donkey here somewhere. You see these a lot in the images. I'm not sure why. These weird anomalies. I don't know what they'll be painted white. They're squiggly. I don't know what they are. I don't know if they're not scratches. I don't know what they are. But I have two theories. I've got the exoteric and the esoteric theory. And my exoteric theory is my Mudflood theory by BEAGS, and that's where basically I wanted to have a theory that explained how the Mudflood actually could have happened in a scientific way. Like, how could it physically have been carried out? And this is East End of Main building, Wellesley College, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. Well, Leslie, I never heard of it. You can, I believe this building probably goes down into the dirt here, which is why you have this big mound around it. That doesn't look natural to me. That looks man, or some sort of issue happened, something happened. Uh, but the theory being that the railroads were here. I believe the railroads were here, that we didn't build the railroads all the way around the world. Okay. I believe that anywhere you can find the mud flood, you can find a railroad. I think you can find a railroad very close by to anywhere that you believe is mud flooded. Okay, that's the first part of the theory. Second part of the theory, that's a big old, nice, pretty etheric antenna. And it looks like they added a lightning rod to it, which is strange. Same with this one, etheric antenna with a lightning rod attached. And of course, we got this little one over here with a flat earth asterisk on it. Well, that's a cross. No, it's a flat earth asterisk. See the X? Flat earth asterisk. Yeah, that's got lightning. You can see the lightning rod wire coming down the side. So basically, that the bad guys, the perpetrators, would have taken utilized the trains and put basically a cloud buster. If you studied the research of Dr. Wilhelm Reich, you would look into orgone energy and his work, and very fascinating, very interesting stuff. I keep orgonite around me all the time. I have always have orgonite that I can get to. You might be able to see that. This little piece I've got sitting beside me. Got that one, and got some homemade here that I made years ago. Not pretty, but functional. But I got orgonite everywhere, and it works wonders. But then they would take a cloud buster and they would then hose out to a pond or a lake or a river, which increased the efficiency of the cloud buster. Then they would point it at a cloud over a town or a city, and they would make it rain and make it rain. And they would focus that cloud and get it to rain on hills that would turn into mud, that then the mud, would come down and then cover the towns and the cities. So that's the theory in a nutshell, without getting too jiggy with it. So that's my exoteric theory. And if you understand the difference between exoteric and esoteric, means that's a wind catcher right there, that little etheric antennas right there. But exoteric is more for the simple. It's more of a simple explanation. It's something that the masses can be explained. But then you get into the my esoteric ideas on this, and basically I believe that our universe is a hologram. It's a simulation of the mind, of consciousness, and it's simulated. We are all consciously creating the hologram, but we are all one. It's all one hologram, but it's being manipulated by all of us, which is all one, which is very complicated. But that being said, I believe that almost like the holographic universe was our realm, our flat Earth, our dimension was hacked by not so nice parties. And not the elite of our world. I don't believe that the elite of our world are being controlled from our realm. Got etheric fencing. I believe they're being controlled from a much higher dimension. And so I believe that they hacked the um, simulation, the hologram. It's not a computer system. It's a consciousness. Okay. I got coin here, and that they changed, they reset the place, and in the hologram they created to where they covered it up, and it created this. The mud flood's kind of like a residue. It's kind of like where they screwed up. Um, and I can't. That's kind of the layman's version. I don't know if that helps any, but that's kind of like more where I'm going at this point. Um, I believe that it's too complicated to go much further from an exoteric standpoint. I think it's just too complicated. This is the Eastern Yacht Club, Marblehead, Massachusetts. So yeah, we need a big old yacht club. That's beautiful carpentry right there. I believe they built a lot out of stone, a lot out of brick, a lot out of wood. The old world, a lot, even steel. They use steel, diamond symbology. More diamond symbology. That right there is like, what? That right there is complicated. That right, oh man, I don't even know how you would do that. That's really above my pay grade. That is so nice. I like that. That's okay. There's so much I don't know how to do. I'm learning new stuff all the time. This week I'm building a Nick Mansion doghouse for the Press of Canario. I got sidetracked. I was supposed to start building it last Monday, but went in and I ended up building for, I think it was 3 days, a horse hay shelter. Because we got some help that came in to help me to do it, and so I had to switch gears. That is just a wild way of doing that, right? I have never seen that before. Let's use cedar trees as posts for our deck that are uncut. Wow, I don't even know what to say about that. That I could just absolutely see some drunk dude poking his eye out with that. No doubt. No doubt. That's crazy. That's wild. Some of the stuff, man, they just look at that etheric light right there. Okay. Wow. That was a weird one. Eastern Yacht Club, Marblehead, Mass. This was in 1906. Like I said, they're all these pictures are labeled between 1890 and 1901, but you will see from time to time copyrights on them that say a different year, but they're never. It's like definitely under 1910. Let's put it that way. So, but I think that the pictures may have been taken between 1890 and 1901, and they didn't release the pictures. Maybe this might be the release date or something. Because I know that he ran around on his train, which you'll see pictures of. Got a big old ship back here, probably a Navy ship. Got some sailing boats. They love sailing back then. That must have been a big thing. Look at that big old structure back there. Looks like some fancy, got some fancy, oh, that's a melted brick wall right there, right there. Look, that's Meltology evidence right there. No, it's just a stone wall. That's all it is. It's just a stone wall. It's pretty. You're not going to find the evidence of Meltology here. No, no, no. Anyways, why am I continuing on with Meltology? Why do I feel it's important? People are like, I don't get it. Why do you keep talking about Meltology? And you got to understand that these people are pretty much our arch nemesis. They have literally taken our top mudflood researcher and turned him into a meltard. So, yeah, it's important, that the people that we should be reaching with our ideas and our information and this, research are going to start looking at fraudulent research called Meltology. And that's a problem. I have a problem with that. And, I'm here to find, truth. I'm not here to hold your hand or make you feel warm and fuzzy. And if you don't like what I'm doing, then leave. That's fine with me. I'm going to continue to do what I do. If I piss you off, I'm sorry, but I'm moving on. I'm going to continue to do what I do. That's what's going to happen. This is Ellicott Square Building, Buffalo, New York. Got Boss Man here. That's a weird, it's like a kid running right there and it couldn't capture him. That's pretty wild. So if you got a problem with the Meltology stuff, you just might as well get over it, because we're going to continue with it. It's so intertwined. And guess what? Here's what's going to happen down the road. The community will realize that I'm right, and people that are shouting this out and saying it's not right are going to be found to be golden. So down the road, I will be, looked at like, wow, he could see that well before, we could. And at that point, I'll accept your apologies, and we'll go on from there. Got the Phoenician lady, Phoenician shells. Got the Tartarian lions here. Yeah, I said it. Tartaria. Yeah, I said it. And there is the weird shield that I'm still wondering what this shape of shield represents. I've had a lot of people give me comments that had ideas, but none of them have been correct yet. I've not found a real explanation for that shield yet. That is just a wild building. Phoenician wave. Another Phoenician wave in a different style. There's a pavement light there, which is glass sidewalks, which would cover up the mud flood windows and doors that were below it. So anytime you see this, you know that there is a basement and that it is letting light into the basement, which then the glass they solarized and it stopped working. So they stopped using them. They started taking them out because they started breaking, and now most of them are gone. You can still find them here and there, but they are very rare, far between. Hard to find. Got non-cobblestone, brick road here that is not a melted building. And you got a ghost person here and here. Kind of weird how that works. How the camera couldn't capture them if they were moving too fast. Got my Phoenix. And got green amusement stamps here. Got some sort of drop down here. They put up these boards here in order to do construction. So if you were to look over into here, you would see down into what would be a basement. No post, no bills. Yeah, we have big old signs. Okay, so that makes no sense. Got a big ass arch here. It's very techie looking, representing the Taurus field there. Eagle representing the Phoenix there. Got architectural, looks like architectural urns. That is a wild building. You need this in 1906. Was it 1906? Oh, this one's not the one. So let's say 1900. Okay, you need this in 1900 because why? I mean, what is the need in 1900s? In the 1900s, what could you possibly need? There's that damn fly. That son of a bitch. That fly is going to die tonight. Guarantee you. We got pretty fancy etheric lights there. Very nice. Very nice. Got First Church of Christ Scientist, Boston. A lot of Boston tonight. I can't help how it pulls out. This is weird how this goes down right here. Very sus. Got gas lamps here. A lot of Mudflood windows on the side here. Got Fred here doing his thing. Still looking for a donkey. Hadn't seen one yet. Got Mudflood windows there. Fred is the OG, if you didn't know. First Church of Christ scientist. Is there a difference between Scientologist and Christ scientist? I don't know. That's a good question. Don't know. Mudflood windows down there. More gas lights. Got another Fred back there. Got beautiful awnings. See, just look at that. You see how the awning just sets off the architecture. I mean, it really brings it out. It's like a beautiful woman putting on beautiful lingerie. That's what these are for. These awnings. These awnings are like lingerie on a building. Ether tech right there. Ether fencing. Got little arches there. Part of the wind catcher later used. See, this would be the input of the wind catcher, and this would be the output, and this would be an output over here. The wind would come in, it would circulate through the building however they want. They would use the wind catcher windows, which would be these here, to determine when and where the air went through, and then the output would go here. It's a real simple thing. These could be part of the wind catcher here too. You got etheric antenna up here. Etheric finial. Let's get technical. And what we got here? First Church of Christ. So this is the same building from a different angle. And we've got ladies in uniform, little Mudflood window down there. That is interesting right there. That could be pavement light, but I can't really tell. That's a coal hole cover right there and there. And they would open these up. The coal delivery guy would pull up with Fred, and they would scoop the coal right into there. So that means there's a basement right there. What else we got? Etheric antenna over here. Well, there's those antennas right there. This little etheric fencing there. Stoneball finial. And what else we're going to find? What you think, Beagle? Beagle's sitting in my lap, hanging out, just chilling. And we got some stained glass. I think they rearranged the stained glass. I don't think the stained glass we see is what was actually there. So I don't really pay attention to it. I like this could be original, but I think the stained glass had something to do with sound frequency, light frequency, coal hole covers right there. Got some Mudflood windows down here. Oh, that's a good shot of an awning. That is a pretty awning. I'll make sure you get right up close to that awning. Get good look at it. Oh, man. That is pretty. I love how they install them and everything. I mean, they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love a good awning. Really make me happy. Look at that little detail right there. Very nice. What we got up in here? Maybe some bells they've got up in there. Hard to say. Well, that's melted brick right there. That's melted brick. Yes, this is fused. It's morphed into popcorn. Yes. Look at a little detail on the side right there. And here's another one of that church. Okay. You'll see sometimes there'll be multiples of the same location, which is fine. It gives you different views. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. Got Mudflood windows here. Got a I-894 maybe on there. Hard to say. Got a random little stroll there. Got Mudflood windows down here. That's weird how that step is sitting off the ground right there. That's really weird. Look, same with all of them. Got a little, it's almost like the ground has dropped. That's really odd. And what we're going to find, I don't know. Looking from different angles, you see all kinds of different little things. Different perspectives. Got you a cymatic window here, which I also believe was part of like a healing frequency light, frequency healing mechanism technical thing, that they used. They were so advanced. I don't think we really understand how advanced they were. I think the old world was just very, very advanced. There's another one of that one. So we're really gonna get a look at this thing today. Got Mudflood windows down here. Beautiful awnings. I mean, I could just look at awnings all day. Got that etheric antenna over here. That's weird. That back right there. It's like I don't know, like a sign or something. I don't know. It's weird. Wish I could see that window better. That stained glass. So I think all this Christian iconography. I don't think this is real. I think that's all stuff they added. I mean, it's real, but I don't think that's what was there originally. I think all that was changed. That's pinions. Pinions like tail holes, as I've mentioned before. I see these weird steps. I just don't understand that. Why is that sitting off the ground like that? That's so weird. Oh, now that's a good looking awning. It's even got words on it. Beautiful. 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 We've got Hotels Netherlands and Savory, New York. Just overwhelming. Like, really? Seriously? 1900, you need that. And check that car out. I mean, come on. I don't even know what that is, but that thing's just, I need that. That thing right there is totally gangster. That thing is pimp. I would be pimping that, no doubt. Check out that old light. Ghost Man. Looks like the waterman's been spraying the road to keep the dust down. Got you a trolley. Lots of Freds everywhere because Fred, he's doing his thing. He's making sure everything gets in here. It almost looks like a winged dragon there. Looks like what's his name? J.P. Morgan right there that's who that looks like. And got etheric railings there. Look at that dragon. That's crazy. Those lights. Can you imagine how much those lights would be worth today? Got coal hole covers here. More etheric railings here. Big arched door. Ladies in uniform. Look at these beautiful lights right here. Incredible. So much to look at. Bum, 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 bum. Look at that etheric light right there. My. Oh, my. High res. It's the only way to fly. Only way to fly. Anytime I find an interesting image, I'll immediately look for higher res. That's weird. You got a porthole behind a chimney. That's weird. And then you got a chimney on the outside of the chimney, which is weird. I imagine the outside chimney right here is what we added, but this is original. Could be a lion right there. Incredible. Porthole window. Got your awning. They really should put that awning down. It would look better. You got ether finial there. Got a ether antenna going up the top there. Incredible. I told you I was going to bring out some pretty images. Trying to see what we can see on this symbology here. Snake. That's a weird symbol. I don't know. It's strange. The diamond symbology. That would be the wind catcher up there. Portholes. Looks like scrubbed cartouches. Hotel Savoy. Represent the Taurus field there. Look at those etheric lights right there. Wow. Almost looks like griffins on them. It's hard to tell. Hello, Open. Hello, haha. What's going on? I still have probably one of the biggest videos on giants out there. It's Little People in a Giant's World. It's hard to find now. I mean, you can find that on my channel easily, but it was originally on the Michelle Gibson channel, and then it had around 80,000 views, and then she took it off so that I could get the views, and I've gotten 30,000 on it. So, 80,000 plus 30,000 plus, who knows if there was more, I don't know. But that video is very popular. I couldn't make, I was going to make a new version of it. But I couldn't make that video today, because the editing software that I use today won't allow me to do what I did back then, which sucks, but I've got a whole bunch of new photos that I could make that video a lot better. But it is what it is. That video was really hard to make. That took a lot of work. I've always wondered if this symbol right here represents the star forts, which is another video I did. It's called Star Forts. If you want to just see a bunch of pictures of star forts, put the music. Tartarian line, fleur-de-lis up there, which I believe represents the flat Earth. I believe it's half of a flat Earth asterisk. Let's see, you got the checkerboard symbology, which is important. Looks like a scrubbed cartouche. Look at those lights. Those etheric lights, just amazing. Wow. Look at those doors, those gated doors. Got pavement light right here. Glass sidewalks. You can check all my videos on pavement lights. I brought those to you. That was some of my original stuff, which is also something I originally released on Michelle Gibson. Michelle Gibson gave me my start, y'all. I mean, I know I've said it many times, but I'll say it again, is that she gave me my start. That she gave me my initial boost of what I was doing. She gave me the encouragement to do what I was doing, because I wasn't planning on doing this. So shout out to Michelle Gibson, and thank you for that. We got Island House. I can't even read that. Manique Island? I don't know. I can't. These glasses. I need new glasses. These glasses have been beat to hell for my work, and I'm just not going to get any yet. That is a lady in uniform. Got a flat Earth asterisk right here with the portholes at their finial. There's one of those weird anomalies. I don't know why they did this. They would white out. There'd be something on the glass plate negative they didn't like, and they would do this whiteout thing, which from a distance it doesn't look like much, but when you get up close, it's like, what is that? I don't know what it is. You see it a lot. Don't know. Little gas light, looks like. Island house. They definitely made the white picket fence. Looks like it's been whitewashed. Looks like Mudflood windows might be behind there. Got Ithaca Falls Gorge near Powerhouse in Ithaca. So got a little dam here. Little stone dam. Those are very interesting. There's a damn fly. Son of a bitch. You're going to die tonight. I'm telling you, when I get time. Got a trolley going across this bridge up here. That's the powerhouse they were talking about. Oh, you can see the brick lines. This is Meltology. Got to put on the Meltology cap. That's brick lines right there. You can see the bricks right there. You can see the brick lines. That's a brick building right there. Oh, yes, that's definitely apertures. Oh, you look at the apertures. Oh, look. Oh, is it brick lines? That's not brick. Okay, that's not brick. Brick is brick. Okay, stone is stone. Well, you just don't understand. Yeah, I do understand. I do understand. All meltologists are high. Okay, they're high on dope. And that's why they see these things. This is the same location. That's pretty. That is really pretty. That'd be an interesting place to go to. I like waterfalls. Here's another view. There he is, locked in. Takes a second for it to catch up, and then it locks in with the high res. These images are incredibly high res. That is just beautiful. That'd be a neat place to take a swim. And it locked in yet. There it goes. I hear somebody's getting squealy. And that means that Mr. Squealy wants to take a break. So, let's see. I got to figure out how. Okay. We're going to take us a break. And I'm going to go take Fart Knocker here for a patrol. Going to go catch us a pit bull, bite him in the ass. And we will be back shortly. Hope you guys are having a good time. Oh, sorry, muted. Sorry about like I was saying. I took the poll down, and it was at 46% said yes. So I'm not sure if that is what that means. It's like almost like half are saying yes and half saying no or I don't care. But if you'll leave in the comments what you think about about
He just had a peanut butter cracker. He likes that. He's never had one of those. He's very happy.
If y'all will put what you think about the camera being on during the presentation. Just let me know what you think. And if y'all have any questions, holler at me right now, or I'm gonna get back into it. GT likes the video. You know, I bring the highest resolution pictures I can bring to you. Okay, that's my thing. Okay, that's what I can do. Okay, I don't have a lot of time to do these other presentations that I would like to do. I just don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to do what I can. A lot of people have asked, over the years, well, why don't you go out and do these boots on the ground? Well, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There is nothing much around me. So where am I going to go? I'm not going to travel to go do these things. So I'm going to do what I do. Other people do boots on the ground, and that's wonderful. I love it. It's great. And I appreciate that. But this is what I do. So I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I hope you enjoy what I bring you. And I want to bring you, I don't want to bring you the fluff and the clickbait and the Tartarian this and the Tartarian that. I want to bring you legitimate shit that is, that you can use in your thinking. And we all have different thoughts on this Mudflood thing. Some people believe it was this, some people believe it was that. There's things that I completely disagree with, like liquefaction. if you study liquefaction, you'll understand, well, at least you should understand, that mud flood was not did not happen from liquefaction, because what liquefaction does, it's where the ground gets so solidified with water that the ground becomes so soft, a mud, and the buildings sink down. The problem is they don't sink level and true, they sink off level. So if the mud flow was carried out through liquefaction, all the buildings would be crooked. And I challenge you to go put a level on any of these buildings. So that debunks. What are you doing, you nut? You better quit. I see what you're doing. I got my papers on your papers, and I see what you're doing. You better watch it. Yeah, you about to get a piece. So, where was I? So liquefaction is not how it happened. I don't. I hear so many people. That's one of the theories of you better quit. Quit that. He's playing with the green screen thing. It's the green screen allows me to put these wonderful images back here, which I love. I don't know if y'all like them. I like them, and we're going with what I like on that because I like it. It's pretty. I can do my funky green screen. I like it. It's cool. I don't get to do it any other time, so I like to do it. But it works real. It doesn't. The green screen doesn't work real well. I mean, the background doesn't work. You can do this background without doing a green screen, but it doesn't look near as good. So, and I've gotten it better through the years. Anyways, liquefaction is not how the mud flood happened. Okay, it doesn't even scientifically make sense. So anytime you hear liquefaction, how mud flood happened, that's not true. It's just not. It's not how it happened. It couldn't do that. I've heard of theories. A buddy of mine believes that it was done through tunnels, kind of like let's imagine lava tunnels, but mud tunnels that went all throughout the world, and the mud came up through these tunnels, and I'm not on board with that either, just because it's, where are these tunnels at? Like, do you have any idea how many tunnels you would have to have in order to accomplish the mud flood all the way across the world? I mean, these tunnels would have been, yes, we find tunnels in a lot of cities, yes, but they're old septic sewer tunnels. So we do find tunnels, but finding tunnels that are full of, that they could have pumped mud, and then how would you pump that much mud through a tunnel? What kind of mechanism would be required to do that? It's just the logistics of that, and who built the tunnels. I mean, it's just, all of it just doesn't, to me, that dog don't hunt. That theory doesn't hold water. But that's my view. I've already told you my view. I got the exoteric and the esoteric. And y'all, I have to say, it's clear to me at this point that we're living in a consciousness hologram, and that anything can be changed. And so more than likely it's some sort of change in the consciousness hologram. And it's not even a physical change. It's like, how in the world can we have this event called the mud flood, and then nobody remembers shit about it? Nobody wrote books. Nobody wrote it down. Nobody told stories about it. They pass it down through their families. Why is there no record of it? I think because it happened in an instant, that it was a thought consciousness change in the hologram, in the simulation, if you want, if that's an easier word for you to understand. But it's not a simulation as in ones and zeros and computers, and it's not quantum computing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about thought consciousness. I'm talking about a projection of consciousness from your consciousness. It's a projection. Everything's a projection. It's very complicated stuff, but it's very cool. When you really get into how the universe works, it's much more interesting. Okay, I've been rambling and I've not been paying attention. I'm sorry. Can you tell me where there is mudflood evidence, quote unquote? Are there any near a river or two? Well, yeah, any city with any town or city that was built prior to 1943 you will find mudflood evidence. You will find something ain't right. Just look anything, any town or city, even the small towns, the smallest of towns. I have found it in the tiniest of little towns, no doubt. And yes, near rivers, yes, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And it's like, give me one. Literally take the go on Google Earth, take the little man and drop him. I've done that many times on the show. Just drop the little man from Google Earth onto the satellite map, and wherever you land, you look around, you will find evidence. It's insane. It is incredible how much of this stuff is around. It's mind-boggling. That I'm only showing you a little bit here. I'm just reading back your little things here. Edward Casey. Wow, I hadn't heard that name in a while. I read his books a long time ago. Yeah, thank you, GT. Talking about the going backwards. BEAGS does the pro status Google drops. Basically boots on the ground. I love. Honestly, now I do that on my own free time. Now I'll go Google drop it on my own. Somebody will mention, and this is how this rolls. This is how I go. I'll be watching something somewhere, somehow, some way, and they'll mention this little town or little city somewhere location I've never heard of, and I'm like, I wonder what's there, and I'll go Google drop into that, and I'll start looking around. I'll be there for 3 hours. I do it all the time. I probably waste a lot of time doing that. I really shouldn't do that because it's like hitting that crack pipe. Like, woo, take me another hit of that over and over and over again. It's so good. All right, y'all, let's get back into it. I know y'all are ready to go and do this again. Let me find my doodads, and we're gonna go to this, and okay, all right, we got the beagles prepped and ready, and got Jackson's Sanatorium, Dansville, New York. So we got the nut house. Make sure our camera is, yes, we're good on the camera. Okay, everything's good. Everything's good. And that's a cool deck right there. It's a lot of work. Got beautiful awnings. Arched windows, ether antenna. Lots of beautiful awnings. Got the wind catcher windows up here. Etheric finial. Beautiful ironwork there. Get you up closer on that. Get you a gander at that. Gander's a technical word, y'all. iCountry. That's your bicycle. Why do you lick my leg, you weirdo? Y'all realize how weird that feels on your leg? You nut. I love my dog, but he's a nut. We got mahogany mills of C.C. Mengel and Brothers Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Looks like a wood lumber yard, I would say. Be my guess. So you get your lumber here. Like I said, we're going to look at everything now. We're not just going to look at big buildings, because I believe there's a lot of good stuff in here. And y'all have asked for it. I've had a lot of people ask for interiors and ships and trains and etheric antenna back there. So we're going to look at it all. We're going to see the people. We're going to see there's a skylight. It's pretty neat. And got old chimneys back there. Look at all that tech back there. We're going to just look at everything, and maybe you'll see something that'll help you, and you're thinking this is the same location. And we're selling wood. A lot of wood being used back then. I can't even imagine the old world forest that we had. Look at that dome back there. At their antenna sticking out of it. That's their finial back there. Got some choo-choo cars. Let's see what else we got. All right. Same location. Like I said, you will see multiple shots from the same location, which is cool because you get to see, different views of it. There's Fred. And to be clear, a horse can pull a lot. Let's not degrade horses. Look at the size of that lumber. Wow, those are huge. Look at these. Horses can pull a lot of weight. I'm not going to put a horse down. Never going to put Fred down. Fred is, the horse that built America, but we're not going to put him down. Check out that pulley system there. It's like it comes across and loads things. Look at that mechanism right there. Wow, that's pretty cool. But not saying that a horse can't pull it, but see what people say. Oh, well, they could do things with horse and carts. Yeah, they could. Yeah, yes, absolutely, we could pull things. But what they never account for is the fact that we had dirt roads, and anytime it rained, those roads became muck. And if you look at the stories of Chicago, where the mud was so high, it was up to your knees. I mean, seriously, you're going to run your horse through that? During ice, the horses running up icy streets, useless. You could only pull so much with a horse. A horse could only work so long every day. A horse had to be fed and watered. The horse had to rest. A horse could only go so many miles before it had to stop. There's so many complications with a horse. They're temperamental. They have problems. I've literally only found one image, one photograph of a horse pulling bricks on a cart. And it was of two horses with a cart each. Both were loaded down with bricks, and one of the horses was lying over dead. I've showed it on the show. That's the only image real image I've found of a horse pulling bricks. Now, I'm sorry. They're saying that horses pulled this building up to build it, along with hundreds of thousands of other buildings. I'm sorry, that dog don't hunt. Oh, this is main building at Wellesley, Massachusetts. And you got at their finials up here. So, I mean, just doesn't make any sense. I mean, literally, and I don't think I have to say this to you all, but when I say Fred is the horse that built America, it's a joke. It's laughable. That's the whole point. It doesn't add up. That it doesn't work. Where were the bricks made? I put this challenge out a long time ago. You had Darth Awar come out and say, "Oh, well, they had brick manufacturing machines." Who cares? Who gives a shit? You can manufacture 1 billion bricks, biggie whoopie dooey, okay? Because back then bricks had to be fired, okay, and they had to be fired in kilns, and kilns they lost 10 to 15% of the bricks, okay, every single time they fired bricks. They don't now, but they did back then. Okay. Then it's like, where are all these brick manufacturing places? And yeah, you find some here and there. Yes, you do. But where are all the brick manufacturing, taking place back then? Where? Nobody can point that out. Nobody, because they're gone. They weren't there. These buildings were already here. Oh, this is a main entrance to Mount Auburn Cemetery in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Got the wing disc up here. Yeah, that's very Massachusetts-y to me. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Well, isn't that nice? Look at that beautiful fence right there. kind of Egyptianish looking, interesting star. These are interesting here. I wonder what these are about. Kind of weird. We've got cobblestone brick road. Fancy ironwork there, which would, a lot of times they would get rid of that during World War II. Main Library U of M, Ann Arbor, Michigan. So this looks like maybe a college, and got some little tiny Mudflood winners down there in case you need those. Ladies in uniform, and Etherfinial back there. Old glass, you can tell by the way it's kind of got that oily kind of look to it. More wood flood winners there. Got everybody out on smoke breaks. Etherfinial. Architectural urn. Got the wind catcher up here. Got a clock with 4 1s as the 4. I'm Gen X. We swear by the 1V. That was how we were taught. I don't, I 100% guarantee you when they taught us Roman numerals in school, it was 1V for the 4. Guaranteed 100%. The matter of fact, the first time I even heard about the 4 1s or 4 eyes, however you want to put it, 4 bars. The first time I ever heard about that actually being a thing was people talking about Mandela effect. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. And then I started paying attention when I was looking at these pictures, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's really kind of weird because most of the pictures you will see the 4 1s. You will very rarely see the 1V anymore. But when I was young, it was always 1V. Everywhere, every time you saw it was 1V. Guaranteed, hands down. And C3PO's leg was always gold. His whole body was gold. It was never silver. That was changed later too. Well, call it Mandela effect, call it something else. I'm telling you, C3PO, he was always gold, 100%. This is a Masonic home in Utica, New York. So, homeboy here is a Mason, I'm assuming. I don't know. These must be some Masons. Boss man there. All right. Everybody just sitting in here chilling with these Mudflood winders. What is this? Must be like a retirement home for Masons. You got a drop in here. There's stairs right here. You see that railing right there? Look at that right there. That's interesting. Interesting arches. That is a beautiful building. Beautiful. A lot of detail on this. Look at that. Wow. It's like a wave, like a Phoenician wave. Etherfinials. Got a cartouche there. Can't tell if it's scrubbed or not. Hard to tell. Got ivy growing up the side of the building. I'm not sure what that is. Not sure. All right. Another Mudflood winter sticking out back there. This is also the Masonic home. Let's see what they wrote. 1905 on the copyright. See what I'm saying? They'll label these pictures on the Library of Congress as 1890 to 1901, and I know I've seen later dates. I don't think I've seen later than early like 1910ish, something like that. But I don't know why they generalized the date, but it could have been that the images were taken during, you know, that time frame. Yeah, I think that's cartouche is scrubbed. Got a big old chimney there, which would have been the wind catcher. Look at all those other fennials. That's a really nice building. And anytime you see this pile of dirt around a building, I think that's hiding. I think that is a surefire way of hiding. I think if you dug that out, that building would just go right in the ground. That's my opinion. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Nargansett Pier, Nargansett. I don't know what the hell that word is. What the hell is that word? Where did I see that? Hotel Matheson. Okay. Nargansett Pier, Rhode Island. This is okay. So, anyways, this is an interesting image. You can see clearly that this glass plate negative was in the process of being vanilla skied. So we'll get into it, and you'll be able to see how they did that. They would just take a little scraper and scrape the image of the glass plate negative, and it would just scratch away the chemicals that took the picture when the colloidal process. It would scratch that away, and that would create your vanilla sky. And this one's done. They're like in the process of it, and they haven't finished it yet. So that's why it looks so jaggy. And then I'm not sure if that's it. Sometimes they'll do it with paint also. That almost looks like it's been painted. Right there, it kind of looks like a paint stroke to me, but it could be just them scraping. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. But the point is that they have clearly started to vanilla sky this. There's no debate there. Okay, here's the thing. You had certain ninnies that made videos that were saying that this was a chemical process to change the background of the images into vanilla sky. And this right here is clearly proof that they are full of shit. Absolutely 100% full of shit. Not even like they mistaking no, they're full of shit. This is proof right here of what I said. When I said they were full of shit by saying it's a chemical process, this is proof that they were full of shit. Once again, I've been proven right. And it's not that I'm sitting here with my ego wanting to be right. I want to be right. I'm not looking like to be right. I want to be right. I'm not hoping to be right. I want to be right. I don't want to be wrong. So I look for the best information. I think that's what we should all be doing. Got porthole windows here, and you can see this one's a little bit cracked. And that's how they would let the air into the wind catcher. Anyways, that is a classic vanilla skied image being vanilla skied. Oh, and here we have another one. How about that? Same location, and they're doing the same thing to a different picture at a different angle. And you see they're doing it again right here. Absolutely 100% proof of what vanilla sky is. Now, it doesn't prove why they did vanilla sky. You see how bad they do? They like these architectural urns, like they're cutting that off right there, and they're not even trying to make it. They're not even trying to save that in the image. You see how they're curved there, right? Over here, they're just cut off. That's because they don't care. They're not even trying to show you that. They don't care. They don't want you to see that. the Matthewson. You got your flags on your ether antennas. You got your portholes here for the wind catchers. Got your input wind catcher here. Anyways, I love it when you can throw it back at a ninny and just say, look, you know, because they don't want you, they don't want you to see these things. Oh, this same location with, what do we have? Another image that is in the process of being vanilla skied. How about that? Isn't that amazing? This one looks like it was, they used paint. Sometimes they would use paint, sometimes they would use scraper, sometimes they would use both. There was a lot to this. I've seen them do things that are just incredible with this photoshopping. It, like, mind-boggling. And I'm still collecting. We'll probably do a Photoshop video this year. I've done one the past couple of years. So be looking out for that. I usually do those around the holidays. That is just really wild looking right there. So that might be what we're looking at this season. Not sure which holiday, but there's Fred right there. But yeah, that's a 100% guaranteed vanilla skied image. Even though it's not completed on the vanilla sky, they're in the process of it. But you can see clearly. I mean, maybe you can't. I mean, a meltologist would probably say that sky is a melted brick building. That's probably what they're going. Oh, this week they're trying to say that millstones are ancient old world tech that we don't understand. It's a millstone. It grinds fucking flour, morons. I mean, it's not that difficult to understand. I've seen them in use. This is the same location, and here we got more of that vanilla skying. So yeah, grinding stones. Yeah, they're old world, some kind of old world tech. They don't know what it is. Look at this right here. You got a ship out here, a boat, whatever we call it, and the masts, they're just cut off. But see, back here, you're looking at it, doesn't matter. You're looking at the image like, oh, look, there's a ship back there in the background. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Like, and you're not thinking nothing about it. But then when you get into high res and you realize, wow, look what they cut off here. Why did they do that? Like, I don't know. It's just like, were they hiding something? I don't know. Did they hide something? Yeah, they hid something. Was it on purpose? Was it, nefarious? I don't know. Were they being bad and naughty? I don't know. Check out that piping going to the ground. That's odd. Be pumping the poo out to the sea. I don't know. This is Natural Food Conservatory, Niagara, New York. And we'll get it locked in. I've got a little porthole here. Got coin right there. Got a little tiny little Mudflood window right there. And got got a pile of stones there. And we got Mudflood windows all the way across here. We got Fred sitting out here hanging out doing what Fred does. And anytime you see the V in the words on the buildings, I think that's a telltale sign of old world. And you got that weird stair. Every time you see the stair come down and go around the front, I think that's a tell that they added the stairs. Again, yet another opinion by Senior BEAGS. Let's see what else. This kind of looks like it was vanilla skied. Hard to tell though. Got a chimney. Got a wind catcher up here. I was trying to see if there was any kind of evidence of what you do. What the best thing to do, and you're looking for evidence of vanilla sky, is like look in between the spaces, because a lot of times they'll forget to do the spaces, and then look right up on the edges of the buildings, and a lot of times they'll just miss a spot. Usually they did pretty good, but every now and then they'll do something that's like really obvious and you can spot it, but you have to have a good eye. You got to have that Mudflood eye, And another thing they'll do is in between the tree leaves, they'll do like the outer portion of the tree, and they won't do the inner portion. Sometimes they'll do the bigger sections, but not the inner portion of the tree because it's too hard. And when you get back, you don't even see it. But when you got these high res, I don't think this one's vanilla skied. And I tell you a reason why. See this piece of, well, that's not tape either. That's usually, yeah, that could be tape. I don't know. If that's tape, then that means that's the glass plate there, which means that this, see the color tone difference there? That means that this is blue sky. Now you gotta get a good eye for these things. It's not easy to spot these things. It's the same location. Let's get it to lock in, and we'll look at this lady in uniform right here. Boom, and then she's walking up there. I wonder if that's like a horse hitch. Mudflood winters all the way across, watering the lawn. Got a dude. Look at the size of that window right there. Thing is massive. They would never build a window that size today. And I'm not seeing any telltale signs of vanilla sky. Big old chimney. That's kind of weird right there, but not proof. I don't know. I don't see evidence of it. Naog Glen, whatever the hell that means, from Boulevard Bridge, Scranton, PA. You tell me what that means. I don't know. They got some weird names for things. Got a big old stone arch right here, bridge, railway bridge there. Check that out. That's crazy. Oh gosh, that's sketchy. That is so not that is not right there. Oh man. Wow. That's crazy. I got a feeling that we built the wood bridges like these, like for the railroads and stuff. Just a thought. There's none of those weird anomaly things. I don't know what those are. Stone wall there. All right. And we got Newberry Hall, University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan. A lot of Michigan tonight. Got a little Mudflood window down here just for randomness. Don't know why we'd put that there. There's weird stairs coming around the front of the building. So I think that is a telltale sign of they changed the front door. Beautiful stonework. Arches. Checkerboard pattern. That is odd right there. I don't think that this was original, but that's still odd. You got a porthole ventilation there. That might have been changed out. You got a break in the glass right here, that black line. That's a break in the glass plate negatives. These are literal glass plate negatives, y'all. I mean, like, these are the real deal, old school imagery. Mudflood winters down there in case you need those. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all came here for that. Post office in Scranton, PA. And I see Fred over here doing what Fred does. That is a pretty Fred. Got a Mudflood winter up his ass and got another winter over here. Got some pretty etheric fencing there. Another Fred over here. Gould. Uh-oh. And we got the wind catcher window here. Got your etheric antenna there. Wind catcher chimney there of eagle representing the phoenix. This is the wind catcher input right here. And here, ether finial portholes for the wind catcher. Oh, that's a pretty awning. Look at, oh, that one's even better. That's sexy. That's a sexy awning. If I'm gonna build a beautiful building like this, I'm gonna put awnings on it because it's so freaking sexy. And it got represents of the tourist field there. And of course, we're gonna add our cross up here to spread the mythological stuff. And then we got, it looks like almost like Mudflood Winters all the way across the side of there. Alrighty. That is a cool little building there. Make sure we get right up in there and look at that. And then we got St. Augustine from the Ponce de Leon. And this is the famous hotel. It's now a college now. This is the wind catcher here. You got the ether finial up on the top here. Check these out. I mean, that reminds me of like India or something. Got downtown St. Augustine here. Got a star fort back here in the background in case you need one of those. Just lying around, star fort, lying around. Go to it. What else we got? Interesting symbology there. These I don't know if you know these, but these right here are structural. Like they put these through, and there'll be another one of these on the other side. What they do is they help hold the brick in place. It's just like a structural bracing support. In case you didn't know what that was. The little scrubbed cartouches there. This is this is the building that they built, supposedly, quote unquote. And when they got finished and completed, they were open for a week and then decided they needed bathrooms in it. So they put bathrooms in like 350 rooms. Like, oh, we're gonna spend all these years building this building, yet we're not gonna put bathrooms in it. But then the week we open, we're gonna decide we need bathrooms and we're gonna put bathrooms. Like, seriously, literally, who the fuck writes this shit? That's a coin. It's got a Moorish look to it. Scrubbed cartouche. Going on up, and get to the ether finial, and look at that bad boy. It's like little flowers are like cupped. That's crazy. That is technology at its finest. Wow. Oh, that's weird. Look at that little stair there. Where is it going? Number one. And number two, you got another one here. Where is it going? Like, what's going on there? That's really weird. I don't know. You got me on that one. That is a very strange, odd thing. I'm going to have to pass on knowing what that is. These are wind catcher here and wind catcher here. And there was another wind catcher right here. And this is the same location. Ponce de Leon. I just like that name. I like saying it. Ponce de Leon. Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're locked in. Okay. Hope y'all are having a good time. I'm glad to be back. I have missed doing this. I needed to step away for a little while, and so I'm really glad I've that is wow, look at that, man. So I enjoy doing this just as much as I hope y'all enjoy looking at these things, because when I grab these pictures, I look at them with a certain eye, not the eye I'm looking at now. It reminds me of the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse in North Carolina. I look at these pictures I look for photoshopping so that I can put the photo in my Photoshop folder. I look for pavement lights so I can put it in my pavement light folder. And I look for, is it an image that is has value, like to what we're wanting to look at. But I don't like analyze it or go into detail or look at it for very long. I look at it very quickly and I move along. And so that way, when I'm looking at it for the show, I'm looking at it with fresh eyes with you. And so my reactions to these images are genuine, and I hope that shows. I love these little symbols here. That's really cool. Very neat. This is a college now. They've turned it into a college that you can send your kiddies to. That's wild right there. Like, look at that. Little downspouts. It's got a little lion holding the cartouche with wings. Very interesting. And there's that damn fly again. Oh my. That's the stuff right there. That is an etheric antenna if I've ever seen one. Dollars to donuts, that sucker had mercury in it. And look at, it's like little cupped flowers. Wild. I've seen that same style on a building in Europe. I forget where, but it's the only other time I've ever seen that particular finial. All right. It's the same location, Ponce de Leon. And we'll wait for it to lock in. And boom. All right. And got arches. Check out these bad boys sticking outside. Draining the water. Diamond symbology. More diamond symbology. Got a etheric antenna right there. Very amazing. Look at that. Like, what? Really? In Florida? Does that look like it needs to be in Florida? Maybe Disney World, but I mean, Florida, really? What the hell is that? Like, I know it's wind catchers, but what is that? What does that belong in America? Like, what does that have to do with what y'all got going on in America? What's seriously? It just don't make good sense. It don't make no kind of sense. Lady in uniform. Ladies in uniform. All over the place. Ladies in uniform. There's Fred. Fred's down there doing what Fred does. There's more Freds. Fred's everywhere. Still looking for a donkey. Ain't seen a donkey yet. Y'all notice that? You ever wonder where all the donkeys are? I don't know. Lion. Look at these. Look at those freaking vases there. Etheric antenna right there. Good gracious. There's so much to look at. Very Moorish look to it. The Moors were in America. Ponce de Leon Hotel again. I don't think there's too many more of these. There's that Star Fort again. In case you need a Star Fort. Still am not convinced what Star Forts were either. Heard a lot of theories, a lot of good theories. I think they obviously had something to do with water, but not convinced as to what they actually were. They weren't forts. That's horseshit narrative. Etheric. I don't know. There's our big old thing. Another trick this guy would do with his camera, I think we saw the same shot earlier. He would take two exposures sometimes if he wasn't sure about the lighting, if it was too bright, and would take one dark and one light. And so you'll see a lot of times where you'll have this, what looks like the same photograph. One is dark, one is light. And I think that was his way of covering his ass because it wasn't done the way we do it today. And and so it was very easy to screw it up. That's weird how it's gone off the page there, off the glass there, or what, I don't know. That's really wild. This is called masking. That white there is called masking. But what's weird is, how did they mask it and leave the ether finial in place? I don't know. That's above my pay grade there. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. This is more Ponce de Leon. Da, 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 da. Yep, donkeys is man-made. Horse and a mule. Yep, there's Fred right there. Fred all over the place. Look, Fly, you and me is gonna go to. You gonna keep it up. You're gonna die tonight as soon as I get done. Ooh, there you are. Ah, shoot, he got away. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna get that damn fly. I'm sure y'all have trouble with a fly getting there and there now and then and driving you absolutely insane in the membrane. I think we've seen that before. The Mansion House, Poland Springs, South Poland, Maine. And it got a Fred Festival here. Pretty Freds. Everybody just chilling there in their uniforms. It's amazing how they dress. Well, look at that thing. Good grief. Holmes is just chilling. Look at that big old mustache. Ghost Fred. Absolutely amazing how they people live. I mean, they are just, it's funny. Like if you were to like add up all the buildings, right, and like figure, and that guy's just standing on the roof with a chair for no particular reason that I can figure, and there is a tree going through the house. What in the world? Is it? Am I blind? Am I losing my damn eyesight here? Is that tree's going through the house? Well, that's well, that's not bright. That's not how you build things right there. That's not good. Okay, that's stupid right there. That's dumb. You would that is weird. Because there's no, as a tree grows, it's gonna tear the ever living shit out of that house. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. Diamond symbology. Wow. Okay, that's just unknowable. Huh. The swimming pool at Charles Voix, the Beautiful. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, whatever. This is an interior swimming hole. I love how it's mirroring the ceiling. How cool is that? Look at the diving board. That's pimp. Okay. Beautiful woodwork. This looks, I don't know. It's I don't know. Some of it, I don't know. Like that right there looks like something we do right there, but I don't know. It's very it's kind of I don't know. This one's tricky. That's so wild. That's the edge of the pool right there. You got stairs going down. Look at this, down and up. So I guess there's a stair here and a stair here, and you can walk up here. There's a slide right there. How weird's that? I don't even know. This got little things you could do the gymnastics thing. I don't know. Is that I would be hard pressed to say whether this was old world or new world. I don't know if I could make a determination on that. It's so plain that, and the way it's constructed, like some of this weird stuff here. I mean, it looks like our kind of stuff that we would do that just doesn't make any. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Tip Hop House, Mount Washington, White Mountains. So that's a very odd looking way to build. We're just going to stack stones and oh, that's a popcorn rock building. No, that's evidence of meltology right there. That's melted building right there. That's melted. It's popcorn brick. It's bricks and popcorn out and stayed level and true. It's still level. Look, it's still level, but it's popcorn. It's amazing. It's miracle bricks. They literally say they're bricks that do magic tricks. I did not make that up. They literally say bricks do magic tricks. That's their explanation for how a brick can turn into a stone. Bricks can do magic tricks. You heard that right. I know you're shaking your heads. But see, let me point something out. Now, I've seen a bunch of y'all. I ain't gonna call nobody out by name, but y'all know who you are. In some of these Meltology live streams, I've seen y'all in there chitty chatting away and never calling out these Meltologists on their bullshit. So I'm watching. BEAGS is watching. Y'all should be out there asking them questions. Ask them the hard questions. Of course, you'll get blocked, but it's okay. Then you won't have to hear their bullshit no more. But anyways, I see. Oh, this is torpedo boats in the wet dock Norfolk Navy Yard. Yeah. So, anyways, we got a unscrubbed cartouche there on that ship. Arched windows. Looks like this was changed right here. You see how the bricks have been removed. Get some guns. These things are so funny to me. I don't know why. You can hang out there and look for icebergs. There's some photo manipulation there, right there. That white right there. They've covered something up there. Not sure why. No idea. They've covered something there, which is kind of weird. This is the same location, and I guess what they covered up was right in this area. So whatever those things are right there, they didn't want you to see. I don't know. You tell me. I guess these are torpedo boats in case you need to shoot a torpedo. Very, very weird looking boat. I thought they were going to be submarines, but they're not. Little steam powered submarine boats. How weird's that? Arch doors. Little Mudflood windows down there. Very interesting. Look at these big arches here. Looks like they bricked this in and added windows into these arches. Alrighty. And we got West End Trust Company building Philadelphia. And I'll let it lock in a little bit. Oh, wow. got mud, got pavement light all across the bottom here. That's all pavement light. So that is hollow underneath that whole sidewalk right there. And there's the Booty of Fred. Sounds like a movie. Got more pavement light right there. More Booty of Fred. And look at this awning that's coming down. I mean, I really wish it was covered because it would be much more beautiful. But you can see the portholes back here and the arches because the awning's not there. But we need an awning there to cover all that crap up. It's very ugly. But you can imagine how much better this building right here looks with an awning covering up these ugly portals and arch windows and doors and stuff. I mean, just really arc light right there. The keg. Beautiful wrought iron work right there. Unscrubbed cartouche with a K. When I say scrubbed cartouche, what they would do is they would just chisel this off and then it would be flat. So you'd have this cartouche with this, ovaled, stone up there. And it's like, what's the point of that? What it had a point, but they scrubbed it off. They chiseled it off. So that's what I mean when I say scrubbed cartouche or unscrubbed cartouche. Okay, you got these outcrop doors. These were added. That's to keep, because the doors were so big that they didn't want the air to go in. It helps keep the air, the cold air from, blasting through. When you're opening up a 12-foot door, it kind of creates a wind issue, a cold issue. So you make the door. You think about this now, y'all. Why would you build a building with a big ass door and then build a little ass outcrop door in addition to it? Of course, when they did this, they would add two doors, one here and one back here, to make it look like what they were trying to do was have two doors. Well, why didn't you build the building with two doors? It doesn't make any sense. Dog don't hunt. It looks like this dude's just watering the ground here. There's Fred. Got all this pavement light here in case you need any of that. Lots of pavement light. Love me some pavement light now. Got a Mudflood drop in right there. Got you another one right there. Anytime you see a barbershop pole look down, for some reason they'd always put the barbershops in the basements. Don't know why. Very strange. Why would you put the place where you're going to get your hair cut, where you probably need light? Why would you put it in the basement? Very popular thing to do back then. Very strange. Very weird. The North American is Philadelphia's best daily paper. Okay, we don't read the papers anymore. I was talking to Philadelphia last week about how I had a paper out when I was little. Look at that other finial with a feather at their antenna, excuse me. And these are wind catchers. Later were used as chimneys. And that ether finial is beautiful. Going on up the wall here. Let's see. Wowzers. Look at all these antennas. It looks like they're cut off. See that? So that one's got a ball. The rest of them have nothing on top. They were cut off when they scraped the picture. So that's a telltale sign of being vanilla skied. When you see weird anomalies like that. So be on the hunt for that kind of stuff when you see horse shit like that. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, we're getting a little bit late, and I want to wrap it up here. Do you ladies and gents have any questions you'd like to offer up for discussion before we close her down for the night? We're going a little bit later. I used to be under kind of a constraint to try to keep it around under 2 hours if possible, because it would automatically upload to Odyssey, but Odyssey has now gotten screwed by YouTube, where YouTube does not allow automatic transfer of videos from YouTube to Odyssey. and it made Odyssey useless. So I no longer use Odyssey, even though I still have a channel up there. I no longer use it. So questions. Probably Chinese on the cartouche. Yeah. Speaking of Chinese, I believe that the Chinese and the Irish were used to uncover from the Mudflood, whatever the Mudflood was. I believe that those two groups were used in different areas to handle that. That's why you had the potato famine and things like that. And I think those are the two groups they used for that purpose. And the Chinese, they I think that could be, walked out. I think that's a very interesting rabbit hole to dive down into if you look into Chinese immigrant labor from that time period. Ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. I'm looking up here. Any questions? Da, 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 da. Are y'all enjoying the camera in the lower left hand corner? Is that or is that annoying? Let me know in the comments of the video or in the live chat, and tell me what you think. And I gotta make a change here. And because I want to know if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, that's fine. I don't care either way. I don't want to take away from what you're seeing. Yes. GT, yes. That's a very good point. And African Americans, but they weren't African Americans. They were already here. They were basically what they did was if you look into it, you'll find the what we call African Americans, the African slaves. That what they were the black people that were already here, and they put them into what's it called indentured servitude, and they worked their indentured servitude, which was a contract, and when they were done with their contract, they were freed and given what status of what was called freedmen or freemen, and then they were free. Now that was the original ones that were found when they came here, but then they also to develop a cover story to cover up what they were doing about these people that were taken into the indentured servitude. They created this mythological slave trade. Okay, and that's a whole different complicated monkey to go down, and that's a very complicated thing. And I tilt my hat to Dane Calloway. So you should look into him. Try to ignore the militaristic black man thing. He comes across as a very mad black man, which I get, but it's the research that I'm interested in. But he's uncovered some really, really helpful stuff. But yes, the Irish and the blacks, and they were used on the East Coast, and the Chinese on the West Coast, and then you had them meet in the middle, with the railroads, and they just kind of worked their way in. And once they had worked their way, and basically they just went in and uncovered the buildings and made them workable. They redid the stairs, and I think they a lot of times they brought the windows and doors, especially the doors up from the bottom level up, took out the windows and put in the doors, covered it over, probably put in pavement lights at that time, and built the what are they called, the the areaways that the pavement lights went on to. And I'm changing something here on this damn computer is wanting my other laptop's here is wanting to do a damn update. I'm having to tell it to hold off for a second. Stupid thing. There. I don't know. Anyways, forget it. I'm not worried about that. I don't know where I was. Things screwed me up. So they will come in and redo what needed to be redone to make it livable for us, and to hide what, take off the technologies and things like that to hide what needed to be hid. And we absolutely, if think about it, like how many buildings there were back then, the quality and the size, that it's astronomical. And then to imagine how many people were actually supposedly, by official records, the populations. And then you take the population and you say, okay, let's say we have, this many buildings and we have this much population, and only, let's say, half of those are working men. Okay. Rest of them are women and children. And back then they would not have been building the buildings. Okay. And then half of them men aren't even contractors or, framers or masons or whatever, roofers. Okay. So you only got a quarter of the population to work with. And then the numbers don't add up. And then what numbers of those people are actually full on, like, know what they're doing? A big number of those people are apprentices or new or only have a certain level of skill. How many masons do you think it would have taken to build what supposedly we built in the time they say we built it? That's why they started burning all the cities down. They had to get rid of these things. They could not have these things just sitting around. There was too much of this architecture. When you look into the fires, you will find fire after fire after fire. You'll find demolished building after demolished building after demolished building. They're still burning them down. If you pay attention around the world, they're still burning these things down. They're still demolishing them. So it's crazy. It's a wild thing. GT talking about nobody can steal my videos now. I have my belief about copyright is that once you put it into the ether, it's gone. It's like it's no longer yours. So the only thing you can do is make your mark and put your mark on it, like you're to make it known that I did this. Can you use it? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I can't stop you. I'm not going to stop you. But it gives people, as long as you're being credited in some way. I mean, I don't, it is what it is. It's like that's going to be one of the AI, y'all. I look into AI in a lot of different ways because I see where AI is going to take us. And from a visionary standpoint, AI is going to start changing our world very soon in ways that will blow your mind. I mean, just examples. You can prompt AI now to make a song, a song, and within seconds, AI can create an artist like that looks real and that moves real, that looks like you wouldn't be able to hardly tell the difference. It can make up its own name. It can create a song title. It can create the lyrics. It can create the music, and it can make the song within a minute. Like, it's so fast, and it's good. That's the thing. It's good. It's really, you'll be like, damn, that's pretty good. Like, that ain't bad. Like, and it's kind of like, wow. At this point, it's going to get very questionable whether or not, you know, humans will continue to play music and make music, because it could get to the point where it's so easy and so good that learning to play an instrument and developing your craft is almost pointless, which is sad. Um, Another thing I think you're going to see is that I think you're going to see fashion change due to AI. I think people are going to start realizing that these, when AI creates these images, that the clothing in the images is very original, and I think you're going to start seeing people mimicking AI images, artwork for fashion. So I think that's going to be something that's going to change. But AI is going to be very interesting in the future. Um, AI can be good; it can also be bad. Um, a lot of people are like, X on the AI, and I say no, 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 embrace it and understand it. It's like it's dumbfounding to me how John Levy could have looked at a video of AI images and not realize they were AI. That blows my mind that we both looked at the images. I looked at them around the same time he did, before he made his video on AI Antarctica. I had already viewed the video and realized it was AI right off. But he watched the video and then thought it was so amazing that he made a video and put it out to the public without ever questioning it. And that is the difference between somebody who has looked in and studied AI and AI art and somebody who has not. Somebody who's allowed themselves to go deeper and think it through. So I encourage you to do that. Be careful with it, because it is very powerful, and it can be, you know, used for, like anything else, can be used for good and bad. Da, 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 da. With so much truth coming out, hold on. I don't know how to. I gotta. No. Did that do? Oh, there we go. With so much truth coming out, they had to head it off at the pass, so we will have a hard time finding truth. People will say AI, that's all it is. You know, the thing about truth is it has a different resonance, a different frequency than AI. So it's kind of like, it's like in the movie Star Wars, and they're, you know, he's like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Okay. And the Jedi mind trick works on the weak, just like AI works on the weak, works on the weak minded. And so we have to not be weak minded. We have to be Jedis. We have to be awakened Jedis. Yes, Star Wars reference. Yes, Star Wars rules. The originals, not that horse shit that came up with later. Let's see. They're not going to replace us. This is a hostage situation. If they remove us, then they will be all alone. They're gonna find them real easy if they remove us. Yo, that's is that, yeah, the moon map. I don't know. You know, the moon map. I've looked into that some, not a lot. I don't. Maybe I need to spend more time on it. I don't know. If I haven't seen enough data to spark my interest, I don't spend a lot of time on it. I've got my own interest, but I have seen it. Am I in agreement with it? I don't know. Am I discounting it? No, I'm not. Um, there's a possibility there. he's a jackass. I don't know what his issue is, but he has always been a jackass to our community. I don't know what his deal is. If you really want a good laugh about Static and Attic, I suggest you go over to my BitChute channel. There's a video on there called Static in the Attic Star Theater Boo Boo, something like that. And that'll explain how I feel about Static and Attic. And I let him tell it in his own words. He is so locked into the official narrative that he just cannot allow himself to go further. And it, you know, he's Ninny Squad. He's certified Ninny Squad. So I don't know. I don't really I don't know. And he's always so confrontational about anything he talks about, and he's always whining about how YouTube, doesn't share him and how his channel hasn't grown. It's all him, and he just doesn't want to see it. I don't know. I don't dig the dude. He's I don't know, just not been very nice to our community, and whatever. But any other questions, senors and senoritas? Yeah, AI is going to get it's going to get much more intelligent, scarily intelligent, but it is what it is, y'all. We're there. AI is going to take over so many things, and it's going to become so big. It's going to be just huge. It's not the end game. So it's not the end of it's just a stepping stone. It's just another stepping stone. But it's a force to be reckoned with. So I suggest playing with it in some way, at least so you have general understanding. So you understand. The idea is to spot it. A lot of these videos y'all are seeing now, you'll notice that there'll be these well put together videos on YouTube, and listen to the audio carefully, listen to the cadence of the voice, and you'll realize that it's AI voice. And that's important too. That means that either somebody prompted it to say exactly what it's saying using a voice to speech text modulator, or they're using AI to create the actual text and voice and speech. So you need to listen out for the modulation of the voice, because AI can't talk perfectly. Maybe in the future it can, but right now it can't. It also gets like when you're looking at images, the first thing you look at in an image when you see people in it is look for the eyeballs, because AI has a big trouble with eyeballs. It has a lot of times it will screw the eyeballs up. So that's a tell. And then look for things that are blurry in an image when they shouldn't be blurry. That's another tell. But you should all be able to tell what is real, what is not real. That's very important. So anyways, I think that that'll be good enough for tonight, and I hope we'll see you very shortly, and we will bring more high resolution old world pics, and we'll have a good time, and I hope you all have a good week, and I will see you very soon. Love, Bigs.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No. a mystery. It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. Don't you get it?
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.